get titles. So if you are here for either or, you will get both. But we are not here for this round of applause, nor we are here for the titles. We are here because the world out there has no mercy. We are here because the world out there wants us to fail. The world out there does not want our words to go in formation. They want your words to go all directions. We are here because the world out there criticizes. But here, something is different. A member who joined recently is telling us about an insight of his life. A moment when he's in the hospital next to his mom. When he was about to lose the most closest person to his soul. He took us in few seconds out of all our worries, all our concerns, all our problems into that moment of joy. How many of you felt so relieved when we knew his mom was alive and she's still alive? A very simple moment. He never even expected to have that impact. Probably he was trying to say, God knows how long these 6 minutes will last. I feel like you brought the timer to move the time faster. But what happened is what we are here for Toastmasters. Is what I am a Toastmaster since 2007, and I plan to be until the very last breath. Is because such speech, if it will come once in 10 years, it's worth waiting for. That's why we are here. And I wasn't planning to say that. I have a whole different agenda. But I'm a person, as a speaker and as a Toastmaster, who believe that plan your work, but don't work your plan. Because sometimes things might get shuffled and changed. And what you need to hear is the message that's in my mind and in my heart, not the one in the presentation. So before I start, let me warn you something. I had to wear a lot of masks for the past 17 years in order to remain a Toastmaster. Because the world out there doesn't want you to stay. The world out there doesn't want you to commit to Toastmasters. Believe it or not. Anyone here is married and his spouse not a Toastmaster member? I'm telling you, you got 2 more years. All right, before you've been asked, now what? All right? All right, because everyone out there doesn't know the value of this moment. I am Palestinian. Open Google. Right? The average size of siblings in Palestinian family. We compete with rabbits. 17 years a Toastmaster, none of my family is a member. It doesn't mean that I'm a speaker, I'm a champion. I remember in 2012, I invited my brothers and sisters. I said, this is the night. It's a gala dinner. I'm an area director. I'm conducting a division. I'm going to stand and speak victoriously, show my achievements. I invited them to the conference, which will start at 4 a.m. All of them came together as one big happy family at 9 p.m. At the closing of the ceremony. Because they thought I'm going to be busy from 4 p.m. till 9. So they saw the agenda. The event will be shuffled at 9, and that's when they can take me and go out for dinner. Because they're not here to celebrate this gathering. They've got other plans. Now, believe it or not, at that moment I started questioning, where is the real family? Is my family the one that share my blood, my name, my nationality, my meal, sometimes, or my clothes? Or is it the one that share my dreams and my pain? Is it the one that criticize, or is it the one that want to hear my story and want to connect to it? From 2012, I started to discover magic, ladies and gentlemen. If you realize what Toastmasters is all about, you might think twice about the family you belong to. Seriously. Seriously. So you gotta wear masks to stay a Toastmaster. Believe it or not. Because once you'll have to say, I'm going to the gym. The other time you have to say, we got an extra hours meeting. And sometimes you have to just to lie and say, I'm at the grocery shop, what can I get you? And suddenly she'll hear a round of applause. Say, yeah, there's a lottery winner here. They just whatever the mask you put on your face, just make sure you wear it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be honest and transparent. All you need to do is to remain a Toastmaster and deliver speech after the other, because whatever experiences you get from Toastmasters is going to make you ace it in this world. I've lost my job and gained my job because of Toastmasters. I lost my money and gained it back because of Toastmasters. I lost a lot of things and gained so much because of Toastmasters. And I would never even dream that one day will come when I get an opportunity to go to the World Championship of Public Speaking in the United States because of Toastmasters. This is not a joke. This is our dreams. The day you allow an excuse to let you out of Toastmasters or let you pass a meeting of Toastmasters, make sure it's your dreams that you're giving up on. It's not anything else. Now that I've said what I had to say, let's get to business. Timer, start now. Now the Toastmaster of the day, an extremely intelligent leader. She knew that once I speak, it's very hard to get me to slow down or even stop. My minimum time is usually 45 minutes, and that's introduction only. So what she did is, she put my slot right before the break. So that according to her, if I will take over time, you guys will get over me. And here's my trick. If any of you wants to have a break, feel free. If you want to grab a drink, feel free. You want to go to the washroom, feel free. Now I got extra 10 minutes. All right, what we're going to talk about here is quickly, craft a speech, how to craft a speech, how to find your topic. However, I want to warn you carefully, all right? How many of you show reality shows? On TV, reality shows. They always tell you, don't try this at home, right? So what I'm going to tell you, don't try it at home. Seriously. These are to be tried only in Toastmasters meetings. Okay? Don't try it at work unless you really test yourself with it. There are techniques that are part of what we do as Toastmasters, but no matter how confident you feel, refine it in Toastmasters. I always use Toastmasters, a place to refine my skills, my jokes, my introductions. Even jokes that I want to crack at my office, I'll first crack it here. If I hear that sound, I confidently go and crack it there. And if it doesn't work, I'll say, something is wrong. That guy must have just liked the way I look. But do that, and you will not regret. All right? Here's the first question for you. How many of you have recently celebrated an occasion and received a gift, or gifted someone a gift? Birthday, Eid. Was it Diwali? What was the occasion?
Anniversary.
Anniversary. Happy anniversary. What was the gift you received or the gift you give? A mobile. May I ask you a question? Were you given the mobile, or were you given a gift that had a mobile? A quite normal question. Did you receive a mobile? Someone came and said, there you go.
A gift that had the mobile.
A gift that had a mobile. Now, can someone tell me, why do we give gifts in occasions? I mean, can you show your mobile? Guys, amazing. What's the brand? iPhone. And the latest one, how many models? There are so many models now.
13.
They're IQ, 13, BQTT. So the latest model, right? So what's the big deal? It's a quiet, expensive, highly luxury mobile. Why do we have to gift wrap it? Come on. What a waste of time, right? You get such an expensive gift, and then you go and gift wrap it for 10 dirhams? Why do we gift wrap our gifts?
To surprise, to create excitement.
To create excitement? Come on, if I'll wrap a gift and then it's a 2 dirham pen, would that make excitement?
Suspense.
Really, ask, who said what?
Suspense.
And what's the point of the suspense? Come on. Eventually she'll open it and mobile, either she will hug you or slap you on the face. So you're gonna get either two, depends on whether a suspense. Why do we want to have a suspense?
Presentation is important.
But why? Why? I wonder why. A lot of people told me that, and I still don't understand. Why suspense matters? Why the surprise matters? Why the presentation matters? Someone tell me!
I'll tell you.
Makes it
if
more
you
valuable.
had come here wearing your shorts and tattered t-shirt, we won't be listening to you.
Even if you know that I'm going to give you an iPhone at the end
No,
of the
I'm
session?
not talking about the gift.
Oh my God, you're going to jump out!
Presentation matters.
Yes, but we're talking about a gift.
The gift
Why do we have to wrap a gift? Think about it.
To make
Makes
the
it
gift-
more valuable, maybe.
Yeah, well.
Looks more valuable, feels more
Now she
valuable.
can sell the iPhone with 2,000 dirham extra because it's wrapped?
She feels that she's getting a bit more, something more valuable.
Important.
It feels like an occasion.
Making a moment.
Madam, when did you receive the mobile?
A few months ago, 2-3 months.
Few months ago.
Yeah.
At what point the mobile become a normal part of your life, but the moment you received it remains sparkling in the memory?
Mm.
Probably like a month after. getting-
Yes, but the memory is still until now, right?
Yeah.
So when we give a gift, it's not about giving the gift. Because I can come and say, here you go, I brought you a car. Ah, it's waiting outside. But even the car, you wrap it. I mean, you can't even hide the car.
Yeah.
You still wrap it. Why? Because the moment is what matters. The materialistic things goes, the moment stays forever. Now the same analogy is applied on your speech. Today we will talk about the difference between giving a speech and gifting one. Are we here on the stage to give a speech? Or are we here to gift it? And what's the difference between them? First, let's understand for all the members here, what is not a prepared speech? Let's make it very clear, it's not a casual storytelling. So whenever you are going for a contest or you're doing a speech, one of those projects, it's not just you come in here to tell us a story. That's not what it is. All right? What else it's not? It's not an insignificant topic about your personal matters. A topic that you like or a topic that you don't like, or I came or I go. It's certainly not. All right? It's not about something insignificant. About you brushing your teeth and you hate to brush your teeth and then you decide to brush your teeth, then someone forces you to brush your teeth, but you still don't brush your teeth. And now don't get close to me because you don't know how my teeth would smell. It's not about that, mainly. It's not even a conversational talk. Have you ever done this? Who have done this? Have you ever done this? That's called facilitation. If I'll go by, how many of you have done this? Can you tell me more? Can you tell me more? I'm engaging you. That's a facilitation. That's not a speech. What else it's not? It's not a preaching talk. You got to wake up today and you know you need stop doing this. You might, if you want to succeed, no, not that at all. So what it is, what it's not. And it's not drama of life. I called him. I shouted at him. Then he ran and I go and act on the stage. He went back and forth and you in the background. And I ran after him. I called him. He came. I drove very hard. It's not that. That's called drama. Whatever happens in our life is called drama. That's not the speech. So what is the speech all about? A prepared speech is formal speaking of personal experience that is relevant to everyone. So whatever you've been through has to be presented in a package that is relevant to everyone. It has to be a topic that leads to an action. So let me quickly give highlights for our speakers today. The first speaker, icebreaker. Your speech is leading me to an action to appreciate what I have in life. For example, we have a third speaker who did a hilarious, humorous speech about the cricket. What was the action from that speech? Think about it. Perhaps your action can be, no matter who you are, a player or a narrator, find your passion and follow it and be the best of it. So if your speech is not leading to an action, then it's a casual talk. It got to be an action. You gotta find an action. Action that is truly relevant to our life. Action should have a sense of urgency, something I want you to walk out from this room and decide to commit your life to it. And finally, I promise that if you would do this action, your life will never be the same again. If a speech can fulfill these points, then it's a competitive speech. Surprised? That's fine. That's all we get this shocked. Because the way we get shocked is to realize that if we structured our words and our speeches according to the Toastmaster guidelines in the manuals, you will realize that whatever I told you is written there. It's written there. But let me warn you something. We sometimes don't read. So we attend Toastmasters meetings and we see how Karima is doing and how Sami is doing and how Raj is doing and how Muhammad is doing, and then we copy each other. And we don't reference to Toastmasters manuals. So if you're a speaker today doing a speech, you and your evaluator should have a look at your speech manual, the speech guideline. It has 3 pages. One page that tells you exactly what you need to do, how to structure your speech. The second page highlights exactly the points you need to improve. And then the last point is where you can go really and challenge yourself. All right? So please refer to your manuals. Now, how do you aim for any speech? You always want to have a purpose of entertainment, a purpose of sharing information, a purpose of persuading, and a purpose of inspiration. You want to have a bits and pieces of all these elements. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to ask you, how can your speech both talk to the logical side of the brain and the emotional side? How can your speech talk to both sides? You need to have an element that is related to our emotions. And whenever our speaker here brought us personal story, he alerted our emotions and invited our emotions. And the minute he started to share information related to his family, his mother condition, we felt we are part of the family. That information made us like him and respect him, because he was getting us involved in the family. And the information triggers the logical part of the brain. And then if during the speech he started to ask you, I want you to go back to your things and laugh and appreciate it, write it down, hug this piece of paper that has the things you love, then he's trying to affect our brain decision making, and that's again logical persuading. And if at the end he says, it doesn't matter how long we live, I think you said something phenomenal, I can't just recall that number. You said something about the life we live or something like that. But if you said a statement about, it's not about how long we live, but how many moments we appreciate, something of that sort, then you are touching the element of inspiration, because inspiration is something related to a promise in the future. So how can your speech cover this? Just give me, how many times, can I get 10 minutes from this moment? Yeah, 10 minutes from this moment only. So what's the starting point? The starting point is how to find a topic. All right, I want a volunteer here. Who wants to volunteer? What's your good name, sir?
Arun Gupta.
Arun.
R-U-N.
A-R.
Yeah.
A-R-U-N.
U-N.
Arun, now I want you to hold a piece of paper
Okay.
and with a pen. This is what you need, all right, to write a speech. Forget about Word, forget about computer, laptop, iPads, leave it for a while. Go back to the old basics. Take a piece of paper and a pen. You want to find your topic. What you do is, write your name, Arun,
Okay.
in the design decoration, not in the normal name. Try to make the A looks like something funny. Sit at home, take a piece of paper, and instead of writing your name, for example, if my name is Sami, I would write the S as a $sign. I can write it as a snake, shape of a snake. I can write it in the shape of a road, right? Just sit and look at your name in a visual way. Open Google and find, what's your good name, sir?
Jake.
J can come in different shapes. A can come in shape of at. Just take your brain outside the logical arena, search on Google on what shapes your letters can form in the doodling life. If your name was a picture, what it would represent. And this exercise can make every letter look different. So what you do, open Google, put your letters, and search for different shapes. And then challenge your creativity to design your name. Karima, suddenly when she writes K, A, R, she will come to the A and draw a smiley face. because that's her baby. And in the R, she would probably make it like a waterfront because it reminds her of the waterfront she went in France. And then without she knowing, every letter becomes a topic that you can speak about. Because every time you are asked, what's your good name, sir?
Chris.
Chris, with C or K?
C.
So if Chris now have his C like this, C, and then he needs to look at it in any corner, it looks C. But the minute he wants to look at it, and then he wants to imagine the sun, in UK, for example, when the sun comes up, then he will draw it as a sun. All right? If he wants to look at it as a moon, then he can draw it as a moon. But that image in your mind is related to a memory. That memory has a story. That story can become a topic. Challenge yourself to draw your name as many times as you can. And you will get n number of topics. And then take it as a journey. An airplane taking off does not go from different directions. All airplanes take off from the same lane. Have you ever thought why? Because they study what is the most safest takeoff and smooth experience for the passengers. So that everyone flying from that particular airport will experience a smooth takeoff and a smooth landing. Because it doesn't matter the destination of your flight during the takeoff. Have you ever been in an airplane and while you're taking off, you say, I'm going to Brazil! This direction is India! Stop this flight! Doesn't matter. You know and we know that the minute it takes off, it's going to turn around and then have a destination, right? So what's the takeoff? The takeoff is the start of your speech. The first part of the speech when the audience wants you to speak about the topic, but you actually start from another direction. That is the hook in your speech. So if you want to do a speech of that topic, make sure you do not address the topic right away. What can you offer at the beginning to create a hook? Either you start with a metaphor or a personal story or any historical story about Alexander the Great, about a cricket match, about something in common with people, any historical story or any personal philosophy. Just state a personal philosophy. It creates that hook. What happened then? At this moment, everyone has a certain feeling, and that's the emotional hook. What happened to the airplane next? It takes a turn. And then you start to link your take-off line to your direction. In any way you will like, and sometimes it will start with, over the next 7 minutes, I'll take you on a journey about my life, and I hope you like it. But later, it will become improved, and you will have it more element of surprise available. But what happened? You start from that personal story, or analogy, or metaphor, or personal philosophy, greet the contest chair or greet the speakers, and then go into the introduction using certain information. Did you know that India has the largest number of coconut plant, whatever? And then what happened is, you start your speech with that amazing emotional stuff. And after the greeting, you go into information. So what did you do first? You touch emotions and then you touch logic. So in the introduction part, it all is about information. You can make it direct and say, I'm going to tell you this directly. Or you can make it suspicious by saying, did you know what can cause war and peace between India and Pakistan? It's a cricket match. So if I'll say that, what can cause war between India and Pakistan as well as peace? Yeah, it's a cricket match. It's going to create an element of surprise. But in the meantime, it's going to introduce me that I'm going to talk about cricket between India and Pakistan. So that smartness of how you do the introduction and lead you to what? Lead you to the main journey. The main journey is your speech. That's when the air hostess started to offer you, would you like to have drinks or coffee or tea, right? So this is when your topic starts. So what you're going to do here is think about, would you plan the journey or plan the takeoff first? Plan the journey. Write your speech regardless how it will open and how it will close. But then find a way, indirect way to take off, redirect, and then go ahead. Finally, your gift, your speech, Body is the gift, is the main gift. But you need to wrap it with a nice opening and nice closing. And the reason why, you can apply a lot of rules like this. I'm not going to take more time because of the time, but these are techniques that you can apply. Rule of 3. I'll give this presentation, so this rule of 3 is very, very, very easy to apply. You can always say this and this and that all the time. And then finally, the speech conclusion. When the airplane reached the destination, it started to prepare for landing. That's when you do the call to action and the summarizing of your speech. And finally, you do the landing. You do the landing of your speech by going back to how you started. So when you look at your speech as an airplane taking off from a different direction, and then redirecting its location, and then going to the destination, and then redirecting for landing, and then landing the way you took off, it's gonna appear as if you are tying up the opening to the closing. It looks like a speech being gift wrapped nicely to the guests. They'll open it carefully. This technique is going to make a tremendous difference and has a magical effect on every judge. If you close your speech using the same words of how you open it, I'm telling you, it's a brainwashing for 90% of the judges. They will feel, even table topics. You start the table topics with a story, and you conclude saying the same story in a different way, it has a magical effect. This is a design structure on how time-wise and structure-wise, we're going to share it with the whole team, so no need to take photos. This is a very basic structure of how your opening speech should take. Opening statement 30 seconds, maximum 1 minute. The purpose is to entertain. Your introduction will be mainly about preparing the bridge between them, and then the body should have 3 points with logical argument or support material. Finally the closing, finally the closing statement. If you follow this map, you'll find it very, very, very easy for you to craft any speech. Having that unique topic from your own doodled name, it will tremendously upgrade your speech. However, nothing comes overnight. I am a Toastmaster since 2007. I qualified to the World Championship after 9 years. It doesn't matter. It's not about how many years you are in the journey. What matters is what are we doing with it? How much time we spend practicing and rehearsing. So you're going to get this presentation. It's an easy roadmap for you to craft speeches. So I would say, if you have spare time, prepare a speech. One of the biggest mistakes members do, and this is a message for the new members, they wait for having a speech slot before they prepare a speech. I would rather prepare 5 speeches right now. Doesn't matter how organized or not organized they are. Just make sure you're following the Toastmasters guidelines. Just have this addicted habit of crafting speeches and keep them on the side. Have you ever wanted to cook something and you decided to cook 3-4 meals and put them in the fridge? Do that. Write 4 or 5 speeches and put them on the side. You will take one, put it in the microwave, and it's ready to deliver next day. Thank you very much. We want to conclude because I took a lot of time, but we can't get enough when we want to give such amazing audience. And I can't stick to the plan when I see such amazing speeches. However, I will share the presentation with the team, with Karima and the team, and she will share it across. And I want to see, when is your club contest?
January.
So I promise the winners of your club contest, I will coach them directly, personally.
Wow.
In both humorous and international. Humorous and international. So prepare yourself. Humorous, prepare yourself.